Okay, I'm going to go ahead and switch the tires that I'm running on this Trek Checkpoint from the Girano RSL GR gravel tires to these Continental TopContact 2 tires. These Continental tires are a little more sturdy. They weigh a little bit more. So the RSLs, they weigh 530 grams. And these Continentals weigh 725 grams. So they're 195 grams heavier, about just over 6.8 ounces more for those tires. It's just that I've been getting a lot of flats on these RSL tires when I'm doing my bike packing or bike touring rides. I think, I'm not sure exactly why. Maybe it's all the additional weight that I'm carrying with the 2 panniers on the back and the other bag on the top rack. But I've been getting a lot of rear flats, just more than I should be getting. And I've gone in and checked my tire pressure to make sure, based on tire pressure calculations, that I'm running the right tire pressure. And it didn't matter whether I was running tubeless or tubes. I was just getting a lot of flats with these tires when I was bike packing. Now, having said that, when I was just running this bike, just going out without the bike packing, the additional weight, and just going out on gravel roads or dirt roads, 0 flats. So they were working just fine for that. But once I started loading the bike up with additional weight and started doing my bike packing, then I started getting a lot of flats with these tires. So I'm just trying to find something else to use, see if I can get something better. So I'm gonna try these TopContact 2s from Continental and see how they work out. I'm gonna swap them over. I will not be, they are tires that require tubes, so I will be putting tubes in and setting them up. I'll give you some more information once I get them swapped over and let you know how they work. Okay, I got the front tire off the wheel. I did that one first. I just want to show you what this looks like when it's taken apart, and show you what that rim strap looks like that's on here. And then I'll go ahead and remove the tubeless valve stem, because I'm going to throw a tube in there. Rinse it off, wiped it off. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean it real quick, and I'm going to use this Goo Gone spray because I don't want any adhesive on the inside of there. I don't want it to be sticky, so I'm going to clean it up nice before I put it back together. Now on this front tire, I only got 1 flat on this front tire, and I did have to plug it because the sealant wouldn't seal the small puncture. And I used the Stan's Dart tool on this, and it actually worked. So right there on the outside, you can see the outside of the plug, and it actually sealed it. I rode this tire for a few more days after I got the flat, and it wasn't leaking air there anymore. And then on the inside, you can see the plug, and then you can see the blue Bontrager sealant, how it went around the Stan's Dart fibers and then helped clog the hole. Okay, so it looks like apart. I'm going to go ahead and throw the new tire and tube on after I clean it up, and then I'll let you know how difficult it was, because these new tires that I got, I believe they got a wire bead around the rim, so those might be a little bit harder to get on. The one nice thing about these RSL tires is they're very easy to take off, and they're also very easy to put back on. So when I got a rear flat that would not seal, and then I ended up replacing the rear tire with another brand new tire, I just went to the Trek dealer, picked up another one of these, mounted it myself on the rear, didn't even have to use a tire lever to get it on the rim. Just put it on just using my hands. It went on real easy. And then I actually only had to use a floor pump to get it to seat up against the this wheel set. So I didn't have to use an air compressor to get it to, once I just hooked up the floor pump to it, and that was tubeless, and just started pumping air, and you could hear it after about 30 psi. It just started, hear that popping sound as it was sealing the sidewall of the tire up against the rim. So as far as working on these tires, they're easy to get off, easy to get back on. No issues with that. In fact, and no issues getting flats when I was just running on gravel and dirt roads without all my bike packing gear. But it's just once I loaded the bike down with all my gear and started going on mixed environments like pavement and other things, then that's when I started getting all the flats. So trying to find a better solution for bike packing. So I'll go ahead and record some more later. Okay, I did get the front and rear tires mounted. See the tread pattern on the original Bontrager, or tires that came on the Trek. What that pattern looks like. This looks a lot different. So these are listed more, I think, as a touring / commuter type tire. They do weigh a little bit more. With those steel belts in the outside, it is a little harder to mount. So unlike those Giorani RSLs, I could just mount those with just my hands. On these Continentals, I did have to use a tire lever to get those on, and it was pretty tight in there. So usually the larger tire lever I had, instead of using that one, I ended up using a smaller, thinner one, and that worked actually better to get these on and mounted. So I'll ride them locally around here, or hit a local rail trail and try them out and see how they work. And hopefully I'll get better results with my bike packing adventures using these tires versus the gravel tires. Once again, I didn't have any problems with these RSLs when I was just doing dirt and gravel and I wasn't carrying a big load on my bike. So if you bought your Checkpoint just to do pretty much gravel riding and you're not going to be carrying a lot of weight, then these things might work out really good for you and you might really like them. It's just for my particular circumstance, the type of riding that I'm doing, where I'm doing multi-day and multi-week bike traveling, bike touring type things. You know, they just weren't working for me the way I wanted them to, so I switched over to these. I'll try these. If these don't work, then I'll look for something else, but hopefully these will work and do it for me. I'll take another short video once I get these mounted on the bike so you can see what they look like when they're on the bike. Okay, this is what it looks like mounted on the bike. I'll go for a test ride tomorrow and check it out. I stuck with the same width, so I went with 700 by 42s, which is what came on the bike. You can see the tread pattern is quite a bit different. Also did use this Goo Gone to clean out the inside of the rims when I had the tires off, and it cleaned it up really good. I still got some residue from that Bontrager sealant on the neck of my frame and on the forks a little bit. I've tried using alcohol to get it off, and I just now tried to use this Goo Gone, and it's still leaving some residue. So I'll have to keep doing some elbow grease on that to see if I can get that removed and cleaned up so it doesn't look like crap on my frame. Okay, well, once again, if you're just going to use your Checkpoint for gravel riding, you're probably going to be fine with those tires that came on it. It's just that they weren't working for me with my bike packing, with all the extra gear I'm throwing on the bike. I'm wondering if that possibly was causing a problem and contributing to all the flats I was getting, or something else. But at this point, I got 1,400 miles on the bike and I needed to try something else. So once I get a few more miles on it, then I'll probably do a detailed review of the bike and post that later on. Okay, well, have a good night. Okay, just doing a quick test ride with these new tires around where I live. I got just over 21 miles in, and I can say the initial impressions are these tires are very comfortable, feel very planted, they roll pretty good. So far so good. What I need to do is later this week throw the bike in the van and go out to Lake Apopka and hit the gravel trail and see how they do on gravel. And then if they do good there, then they should be good. Just hopefully they get rid of all the puncture problems I was having with the other tires.